yard?
Maybe.
I'll cut it off, okay. Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing how to get calcium powder in your reptile's diet. Now first I'm going to be talking about why it's so important to have calcium powder in your reptile's diet. And you might notice behind us it's actually snowing right now, which is like a rare occasion here. It's like really snowing. It's beautiful out there. So I figured I'd sit right by a window so y'all could see the snow. To us it's a big deal, but to people up in Minnesota they're like, oh, it's snowing, whatever. Yeah, but to us we're like, oh, it's snowing, which is like, is rare where we are. But why it's so important to have calcium powder in your reptile's diet is because the reptiles, you might be thinking, well, they don't have naturally calcium powder out in the reptiles' diet out in the wild. Well, the bugs get their food from, say, just the plants they eat, the grass, the bark they eat, the bugs that they eat. That's where they get theirs, from the bark and everything else. And the reptiles get theirs from the bugs. That's where they get the bugs that they eat get the calcium that's out in nature. And when you buy crickets, those crickets won't have those calcium in them. And they can have just metabolic bone diseases and just different bone diseases and just not be healthy overall if you don't have the, let's see here, calcium powder. So that's why it's so important to have calcium powder. And it's really cheap on Amazon. It's like, I saw calcium powder that was $1.68 on Amazon the other day, and this one was $3, so it's pretty cheap, you know. Calcium powder is not that expensive. And I'm going to be showing you 2 ways that I like to include it in my reptile's diet. And I'm actually going to be showing you, I guess, 3 ways, but one way is not real. They might, like, I've never done it before, and most lizards won't like calcium powder. They won't just lick it. But I guess the first way is just put a shallow dish of calcium powder in your reptile's diet. Some people say theirs licks it right up, and sometimes you have to take it out because they lick so much. But my reptile and all my other lizards that I have, they don't like calcium powder. They just won't like it. And yours might like it, but most reptiles won't just go over and lick it. Some will, but, you know, occasionally you will find some that do, but just mine don't, and most reptiles probably won't, but they might, you know. So you can put a shallow dish in there, just a little sprinkle in there, and they'll go lick it as they need it. I feel that's one of the best ways is for them to get it as they need it and as they feel to need it. So you can do it that way, but how I like to do it is I like to take a baggie and put some crickets in there, you know, just that day's crickets. We had the window open because we wanted to look at the snow better, and you can hear the animals in the background. They're like, what in the world is going on? Yeah, because they only get to see snow like once a year. So, you know. Anyway, what I like to do is I like to take that day's crickets. You know, I usually feed my lizard about 2 crickets a day, 2 to 3 crickets a day, maybe even 3 or 4 if I let them as an adult. So, but my adult lizards, they usually eat about 2 crickets a day, or 2 crickets every other day. And my lizard, my leopard gecko, he eats usually 1 large cricket every day, like large cricket every day, just so you know. That's what I feed him. And what I do is I take that baggie and I put the crickets, that day's crickets, in there, usually about 2 crickets or however many, in the baggie, sprinkle some of this in there, and then I shake it around. I close it, of course, shake it around until they're all dusted. And then I put them in there, and the lizard, he eats them and doesn't even know they're covered with calcium powder. Or what you can do is some people will go catch their crickets out in the wild or request wild-caught crickets, but wild-caught crickets are a lot more expensive. 20 crickets can actually cost about $30. You can find wild-caught crickets that already had the calcium in them, you know, because of the reasons eating up the bark and all that. Like I said in the beginning of the video, that already have the calcium and there's no need for the powder. You can find that, but they're more expensive. And I think that, you know, this lasts a long time. And you just place the calcium powder in there in a baggie, you put the crickets in there, shake them around, feed them to your lizard, and they probably won't even know. Now the next way is actually a new way, but I really like the way, is putting it in their water dish. What I do is I put water in their water dish, of course. I always give my lizards water. All my lizards are always available to water. I miss the side of their tanks because that's how lizards like to drink, especially like chameleons and things. They have to have water that catches their eye. They don't usually drink out of a water dish, but of course I always give it a water dish just in case it dries out or whatever. Like if we're gone one day and they don't have any water, then they'll still have some in that water dish just in case they are thirsty. But usually it always stays misted because of the plants and things I have in there. That absorb the water and they lick them. But what I was saying that you can sprinkle about, I don't know, not too much, don't make it solid white. I just make it a little discoloration in the water, just enough for that. Probably just a sprinkle, you know, like you use a sprinkle of salt in the kitchen. I just use a sprinkle of this and in the water, calcium powder in the water, and I just stir it up with my finger, and that seems to work really well. Yeah. I'm looking at the snow. I'm being very distracted by the snow right now. It's supposed to go on like this for about an hour, but not very long. But, you know, here's what you do. It opens, some will come with a little teaspoon. Mine didn't. Some will come with a little scoop. And some will actually come with a sprinkler to where you can zip it open and then sprinkle it. But it's really up to you, whichever way you want to do it. But I hope this actually helped y'all. Again, I'm sorry there was no video on Friday. We were all sick. We are all much better now. My dad is sick with it right now, but he is getting better, as all of us are. My mom is not sick with it, actually. We're beginning to think if she was sick with it before or something. We're not sure. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all on the next adventure.
Snowballs.
Snowballs. I don't think we're going to get any snowmen out of this.
Got a really small one.
You got a really small one?
When we made it.
Yeah, we did. We piled it up from the cars and stuff.
Oh, it looked terrible.
There's not going to be any big snowmen.
I want to take a video of this.